guys, Sheena here. Today I am talking about mindsets. I recently just got into my new office, so please like and subscribe my channel. And if you're looking to kind of work on something in your life, that a goal, a weight loss goal, a mental health goal, something that's you're striving towards and you're noticing a blockage, that's what I do. That's what I do. So hook up with me. You can message me on YouTube or just go to evolvebeing.com and book yourself an appointment with me. I do everything remote, or if you're living in Vegas, you can come right here to my office now, which is really nice. But let's talk about mindsets. That's what I'm here to do today. I have been writing quite a bit, and I think that one thing that has healed me in my life and continues to heal me, because this is, let's be honest, this is a journey that continues to go forever and ever, is learning that the physical being that I have, to include the physical ailments, my external experience, even my emotions, is all filtered through the values, the foundational mindsets that's actually in here. And that's a lot of the work I do, and a lot of the work I've done on myself, and now the work I do with other people, is reorganizing and rearranging those mindsets so that you have a better way of filtering that world. And what happens in our life is we oftentimes have been conditioned a certain way, and these could be through natural learning processes like school or our childhood experiences. They could be through parental guidance or friendships, or however we learn those certain things. Unfortunately, and this happens quite a bit, is they could also be through trauma. So it's that heavy impact of something negative happening to us that also teaches us certain things. That whole, you've got the kid touching the stove and someone tells them not to, but then they touch it, and the experience and the trauma and the intensity of that sort of teaches them not to touch the stove. And that happens in all different ways in our life, and especially in our early years. Before 7, the studies are showing that that's when that subconscious sort of mental level is set up, and all those neural pathways are conditioned, and then we're sort of living through those main experiences as our brain fully develops. And reconditioning that stuff is not always easy, and we all know people who have great mindsets, right? We all know what a mindset is. We all know how to talk about mindsets, but do we really know how to shift the mindsets that are foundationally blocking us from living the life we want to live or achieving the goals we want to achieve? And that's why mindset matters. And I was decorating my office, and I love Einstein. I've read quite a bit of his stuff. I've listened to a lot of some of the interviews from back in the day that they did with Einstein. I didn't always understand, and I still don't understand physics really, but I've always been studying it and trying to learn this, because I felt that there was a lot of great knowledge in the information that Einstein put out there. And I found this cool poster, and it said mindset is everything. And I think that's the basis of my life now, and the basis of my business, and the basis of how I see things is that everything is filtered through the mind. There is a physical world. There is our physical body. There is the interaction between our mindsets in the physical world, but they come through that mindset process first. And that's how we kind of set up, and we focus our values, and then we also create our worlds through that, right? Like, if we tend to have these sort of sad, depressing, traumatic things continue to happen to us. And actually in my life, that's what happened to me. I was hitting a wall. I really rarely talk about my story on this, but at some point in my life, I recognized a cycle, and I was continuously hitting it. And it wasn't until it hit me so hard and I hit a rock bottom state that I really looked up, and I was like, whoa, something is stuck in me and I don't have access to it. Like, I don't know what it is. There's something that is conditioned in me that I thought I could figure out, that I thought I figured out, that I thought I worked through. And sure enough, it came out again in my life. And it wasn't until I started to really notice that cycle and then shift it. And that's been, boy, has it been a process to shift it, because it wasn't just, oh, I changed my mind or I changed my thought. For me, it was changing many, many things associated with a mindset that I had, that I was attached to. And once I was able to work through that stuff, now I'm able to see it and to catch it and to work changing my behaviors and changing my thoughts and changing the little things that are still or could still be attached to that sort of traumatic cycle that I had in my life. So that happens, right? And sometimes it's just noticing, oh, whoa, like this has happened before. It may not look exactly the same, but I do recognize this, And then that's when we can start to say, okay, what does need to shift? Or how can we shift this? Or what is it that I'm attached to? Or where did it come from? Or start to discover, and then shift the mindset that needed to be shifted within us in order to really see everlasting change within ourselves. And that's mindsets, right? And that's kind of the deeper, the bigger, the richer sort of understanding of mindset. But simply, we know, okay, positive attitude creates positive results, right? Like that's a simple way of looking at it. It's hard to grasp that maybe this whole world is filtered through the mind. And I think not everybody's willing to receive that sometimes. And I had a friend of mine share with me something, because I think I sometimes can lack compassion. And I think it looks like lacking compassion, but ultimately I'm such a helper. I want to help. I want to solve problems. I want to be the one when a friend's venting to be like, okay, how do we solve this problem? Like, what do we do? When really they're probably just wanting to share and vent their world with me, not asking for a solution. And I had to learn that many, many times over. But someone did share with me once that when we tell people it's all in your mind, that also that invalidates their experience. It makes them feel like they created what's going on, because if it is in our mind, then, well, didn't we create it? And I don't think that's the reason we say that mindset at everything. That's not the reason we would say that it's in your mind. It's not true in that sense, Your experience is valid. Your pain is valid. Your trauma is valid. Your story is valid. All of that is valid. In fact, it's what makes you, and it's beautiful, and it's got its story, and it's got its lessons and its magic in it. But when people are ready, when they say enough is enough and they want out of pain, when they want out of mental trauma, when they want out of these cycles, there is this other worldly perspective that says that the mind has the capacity to shift the body, has the capacity to shift material world things, has the capacity to change how we see the world. And that's what we're talking about here. That's all we're saying, that there is this beautiful, magical ability of the mind to create beauty in all areas of our life. And it's getting to that. It's working towards that. It's stepping on that path that really changes things. It's certainly a game changer, and it's not for everyone. And I say it in this, I am not a doctor. I don't diagnose things. I'm not here to say that you don't have what you say you have, or anything about that. That is not my job here. For some people, the path is a diagnosis. For some people, the path is getting surgeries or undergoing through certain difficult things to transcend that stuff. For some people, perhaps this is not the lifetime in which they will choose to take on a world where mindset is everything, and that's okay, and that's a part of our process and our overall evolutionary process as a human species. That all exists too. But if you're feeling that you have the power, if you feel that you have the capacity to take on your own pain, your own sadness, your own depression, your own issues, your own traumatic cycles, then you probably do. And it's just about stepping in and working the path from that place. One more thing before I close. I have been sharing it quite a bit lately, but my partner and I, we say, and Paulo Coelho's book says it, I've read it in many different places, but just something we mantra and we say to ourselves all the time is that everything is working for us. And even when something is dramatically scary or frustrating or aggravating or painful, I say, it's working for me. It's working for me. And I hold that mental foundation. Even though I don't know what's happening then, it always turns out to be that for me. So do you see how the mindset works? Do you see how that magic kind of works then? It transcends the experience. We go through the experience. I still feel pain. I still feel sadness. I still feel anger and frustration. I don't become those things. I let them be. I work through whatever pace it takes me with the mindset that it's working for me. And in the end, it always does. And how could one argue with that then, right? Anyways. That's what I have for you today. Once again, subscribe to my channel, book an appointment with me, check out my website at evolvedbeing.com, and I appreciate you.